y'all, it's your spoiler, brutally honest book reviewer and reading vlogger and booktuber in general, Maddie. And I know some of y'all have been waiting on this video because you guys know I'm doing a series where I read the entire Percy Jackson series, and each video is one book because if I combine them, it'd probably end up being like over 3 hours. And my storage cannot take that because I like to come in, I like to do a lot of updates in between books. And I actually do this with a lot of my reading vlogs. I've actually only ever done one reading vlog where it was like all the books in one video, and that was because number 1, I had all the books at once, and number 2, I literally, if I did each book individually for a different video, it'd be really short and there would be no purpose of splitting them up. And that was the powerless reading vlog that I did. But as for like light lark reading vlog that I got, and this one, I don't have all the books at once. I buy them one by one to see if I want to continue the series. And powerless was just one of those, like, that was my first ever reading vlog. And right, no, it was not, but that was like the first ever reading vlog I did, I believe, was like a challenge, like a 24-hour challenge. So I don't really count that as like one because I like my reading vlogs to be calm, like, you know, no due date, nothing like that. So powerless, I actually got that on my birthday. I bought the entire series at once, and that was only because they were all on sale and it was my birthday and I was just going all out. So I got the entire powerless series, and that was the only reason I did an impulsive decision like that. But usually when it comes to series, I buy each book one by one. Like 𝙤𝙘𝙧𝙨, I did that with 𝙤𝙘𝙧𝙨. If You Had Been With Me, I did that if We Had Been With Me. I just literally do it to all my series. I do it to, because I knew that If You Had Been With Me, I had a second book, but I was just like, I'm gonna read the first one first. And then I knew that Better Than Movies had a second book, and I just got Better Than Movies because I want to see if I liked it first, because everybody keeps having out these books that are not good, and I'm just gonna make sure I like the first book before I continue the series, even though it's a 99.9% chance I will, because I hate DNFing mid-series because it just feels like I incompleted something. But let's get into the main star of the show, which is Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters. This is book 2 in the Percy Jackson series, and this is my first time ever reading Percy Jackson. I've never read it before, so it's my first time experiencing it. So yeah, but before I go watch the first episode, read along with me. I read The Lightning Thief, and yeah, so girl, we're gonna be reading this book today, and apparently I asked around and this book is actually shorter than the first book, period. I'm just hoping it doesn't have second book syndrome. Like, it can be a trilogy or it can be a series, and sometimes books just have second book syndrome, you know? I don't like it. So we're hoping this one's not gonna have second book syndrome, because Reckless had it, Nightbane had it. Ooh, why my fingers crack like that? Oh my gosh. Ooh, yeah. So here we are, got my Buki, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this. So, quick overview. We ended it off with Percy almost dying completely. It was just a really sweet but also kind of crazy kind of ending moment on the first book, to be honest. And if you want to see my review, I have it on Fable, Goodreads, and Storygraph as well. And since we're sitting here talking about my socials, go follow my Instagram, because y'all, I'm an author and I have books that are coming out, and you guys don't have all the information about it. Like, yeah, I post reels on YouTube Shorts, but that's because they're videos. But I post pictures and spoilers and quotes from the book, and the book's not out yet, by the way, mind you. And I don't post it up here on YouTube. I don't post it on my community tab. I don't post it on a short. No, you guys have to go to Instagram to see the quotes and to see the dude, like, because I'm going to be announcing the release date. How are you supposed to see when the release date gets announced if you're not following the Instagram? Because I'm not. Well, it's gonna come up later on here, maybe, probably. Maybe, I don't even know if I'm gonna announce it up here, but it's gonna come out later. But up there, you guys are gonna see it as soon as it's the day to find out the release date. So yeah, I'm just really scared to jump into this one, because you guys know I don't like fantasy, but I did enjoy Percy Jackson. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna read the first chapter. Okay, so basically he can't go to Camp Half-Blood, which is like literally supposed to be the only place he's safe, but apparently he's not gonna be safe if he goes, which is like really weird and really confusing. And his mom is like, I'm just gonna explain it to you when you get back from school. Like, no, it's gonna be fine, I'll explain it to you when you get back home and all that stuff. So now I'm just curious, like, what's wrong? Like, are there monsters attacking, looking for Percy now? Maybe they got Medusa's head finally after some time, you know? But I'm just trying to figure out like what's going on, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna read some more off camera because it's really hard for me to focus when I'm on camera. So y'all might have seen me look to the side or look up a few times, and I apologize for that. I'm trying to like, it's so awkward for me to read on camera, but I will catch up with you guys when I get the chance. And hey guys, so I actually have not picked up this book since we last spoke, which is actually a few days ago, and I'm currently on chapter 5, I believe, and I've just not picked up this book. So I just really think I'm gonna pick up this book tonight because I just really need to get it done, okay? Because I want this vlog to come out for you guys. I want to have at least 2 reading vlogs for you guys, like a month or something, where I do like a series or a book or something like that. So if I'm gonna stay committed to this thing, whether it's a reading challenge, reading vlog, or just a genuine reading vlog, I want to have 2 out a month. And if that's the case, I want to do this book. I just feel like I'm in a reading slump right now, okay? I can only read 1 chapter or even just 1 page of a book, and I think that's because I read a whole, like, let's get the book journal out real quick and let's just see what I've read this month. So I read Offside Rule. That was a 3-star, but if I'm thinking about it now, it was really just a 1 to 2 star, but in the moment it was a 3-star. Nightbane was a 3-star. Carnival was a 4-star, and that's literally just quite about it. So I'm kind of in a reading slump because I'm getting bad books, and then also not to mention, in the month of December, I had a lot of 1 and 2 stars. Like, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 books that were actually 1 and 2 stars that I did not enjoy. So I feel like I'm just falling into a book slump, and, you know, yeah, this book is a victim to my book slump, and I really just want to finish it because I already know this is going to be good. You know, maybe it's just my fantasy hating side that I just don't like fantasy, but I just want to do a quick analysis of like what I got when I read like the first few chapters, because I never actually did like a thing after that. So basically, what I gathered is Percy Jackson, whenever he goes into a new school, he always meets a new friend, and that new friend is always a half-blood. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, first we had Grover, and then now we got our little Cyclops friend. I don't even remember his name. What was his name again? Tyson is a Cyclops. So he's just meeting a whole bunch of half-bloods at his school that are like his friends or whatever. And yeah, I just feel like, how do you as a half-blood yourself like not realize the singular eye and just his forehead? Like, you don't notice that there's not 2 eyes, just like 1 large gigantic one. Okay, I just really don't know. And I feel like, honestly, to be honest, his mother really should have talked to him about like the entire tree thing, because you're telling me that I'm gonna go to school, right, and you want me to come back home and you just want me to be worry free, because I feel like I'd be less worried if I knew what was actually going on than to know that something bad is happening and I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel like I'd be 10 times more worried. Okay, just let me know when it's going on so that way I know that I'm prepared in case something happens. Because in this specific case, Percy quite literally does not know anything because his mom refuses to tell him anything. He keeps walking into danger. And first book, he didn't even know he was a half-blood. In the book, at least. In the show, she tells him like right before everything happens, but in the book she didn't tell him until things happened like immediately, right? So I just don't even know for real, because it's like she keeps putting him in danger by not telling him anything. She lets him worry, and then something happens and it goes not according to her plans. Like, we should have seen this after the first book. She didn't tell him, and he ended up finding out the most brutal way possible and the most traumatizing way at that. And then we get to the second book and she doesn't tell him anything again. He ends up in danger once more at school, and then he gets there because, you know, he has to fight all these extra monsters and everything. and there's something bad happening again, and he's gonna get himself in more danger, and more traumatizing danger at that. So I just feel like his mom needs to just start telling him stuff, because the reason that he's in such danger and such trauma is because she's not telling him literally anything about what's going on in his own life. And I think that's just like a major problem, because how are you not telling your son what's going on in his life, what's going to happen? And it's better yet, this stuff could possibly kill her son. I feel like if I was this boy's mother, I'd be like, okay, yeah, so this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. I just want you to be prepared, because you might die if you don't follow these instructions and you don't know what's going on. He could possibly be at the risk of death because he does not have a single clue what's going on. He has not a single clue what's going on, and nobody's telling him anything. So he's constantly in like the blind side. He's constantly not in the know, and then that means he's also constantly in danger and at the risk of getting traumatized, hurt, even killed at that. So I feel like people just need to start telling this man stuff, because keeping all these secrets from him is not doing it. Okay, keeping all these secrets from him is not doing it. It's not helping him in any kind of way. I feel like, I know Grover, he just was doing his job, he was doing all this, and same thing with 𝙎𝙤. They were literally trying to protect him and everything. I get that, but if you know the dangers that comes with being a half-blood, then I feel like he should know, because if he doesn't know, how is he going to defend himself? I mean, he almost died in the first book before he even got to the camp, because he had no clue what was going on. This man almost died, almost gave up, because he had no clue what was going on. And then you also let this child think that he's abnormal, and he's not normal. You let him think all this stuff, which, by the way, if you have dyslexia, you are normal, don't worry. But I'm saying, like, people let him think that he was just genuinely, like, because as a child, you're obviously gonna think like, oh, I can't read, so I'm not normal. You are normal, first of all. But people let him go around thinking that, right? And everybody around him knew, oh, the reason you can't read is because you're a half-blood. And nobody told him that. So he was upset. He probably has trauma from these bullies. He has trauma because he watched his mother wither away into dust in front of his very eyes. He is probably hurt. He has betrayal, trust issues after Luke. I'm just saying, like, this boy has been through so much, and we're barely a book and 5 chapters in. And this man already has a whole bunch of serious trust issues and serious issues and all this extra stuff. I just feel like people need to start telling him stuff, because if we don't tell him stuff, things are just gonna get worse from him here on out. And it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna try and keep reading this. I might just turn on the audiobook and do some work, because you know, your girl just cannot stay on top of things to save her life. So I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. So the thing with Spotify audiobooks, they don't have this one for like Spotify users, but I found a podcast of a girl that reads each chapter to you. So I'm using that podcast as an audiobook, and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, listen to it, and I'm gonna get some work done, try and get as much as I can done, and we're just gonna see how this goes. So mission try and get further into Percy Jackson is officially a go. Okay, y'all, so it is the next day, and we've actually read something. Okay, so I just want to give you guys like my quick opinions, my quick thoughts, you know, and all the other stuff. So I think that this new counselor we're making him out to be the villain, right? We're making him out to be the villain, but I don't think he's gonna be the villain. I think that our Cyclops friend here, I think he is going to be the villain of this book, okay? So I think that the counselor, whatever his name is sent by Clarice's father. And that's why he has like such a large grudge against Percy and Annabeth. Like, doesn't it align? Doesn't it align? Okay, just whoa. And also, I was just like really mad because like Percy was the one that was like, yeah, we need to go on another quest to save the camp. And everybody's like, yeah, quest, send somebody on a quest. And Percy like, I'll go on the quest because it's my friend and I'm the one that like discovered it. And everybody gets mad at him like, you just want the spotlight. Did he not successfully save your camp last time? But every time you send somebody else that was not Percy to save the camp, failed miserably and also put the camp in danger. So do you want to go with what you know can help you? Or do you want to go with someone new who's stuck up and thinks she has a large ego and thinks she can do literally quite literally anything in the world? I mean, take your pick, because I personally wouldn't want Jackson to go out and save the world again, because girl. So that's just definitely what I've gathered from this. I'm currently on chapter 8. We board the Princess Andromeda, and I'm on page 107. I really want to finish this book before Friday, so around Thursday or like early Friday I want to finish this book, because I'm traveling, and you guys are going to get that vlog, by the way, traveling to New York, and you guys will be seeing that vlog, first of all. Second of all, this book, it's shorter than the first book. Okay, so I really just want to get to the end, okay? I just want to get to the end. I want to figure out what I'm thinking of it. And like I said, I'm not reading the actual book because right now I'm currently in a reading slump. So I'm using the podcast that I found that's like reading the book to me, the audiobook podcast. Yeah. So that's literally audiobook podcast. Listen to that, and it's getting me through this book pretty fast, pretty well, no doubts, nothing like that. And yeah, and also y'all, I swear I'm not bald. I know I've said this already, but I swear I'm not bald. I just look bald in this vlog. I swear, it's just the hairstyle. I'm a hair in braids again. It's just the hairstyle, y'all, I swear. Okay, so that is all I want to talk about as of right now, and I guess I'm just gonna see you guys in when I talk to you guys. I think I'm gonna tune back in with you guys when I hit chapter 9 or 10, and we're gonna go over what I think. And this is what it's looking like. This is where I have read and completed. This is what I need to complete. And there are, let me see, 279 pages in this book, and I'm currently on page 107. So I'm a little less than half, but I think I'm making pretty good progress. So I guess I'm gonna see you guys when I see y'all. Mwah. This is supposed to be smooth. What the heck? Okay, y'all. Ooh, change of scenery today. It is the next day, y'all. It is, and this is not my bookshelf. This is actually my mom's. I'm actually in a study right now, at my house. So I'm on chapter 9, and I think that Tyson, I still think he's the villain. Okay, I think he's doing all this extra stuff, like naming the seahorses and whatnot. I think he's just trying to slow them down. Like, I genuinely think that everything he's doing is quite literally just to slow them down so they don't get further into defeating the monsters and everything like that. And also, Luke being on the ship is crazy. Like, honestly, that's low-key kind of wild. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I was not expecting that. I just thought there was gonna be a whole bunch of monsters on this cruise, and they're stuck up here, mind you, unless Percy can find a way to help them out. Then they are screwed. They are done, because there's too many monsters to just be fighting all of them and then have like nobody notice the ruckus you're causing. And it's like everybody's like a robot, like, we're gonna go to the pool and we shall have so much fun. Like, what? Who speaks like that? Generally, whose child is speaking all prim and proper at the age of 5? But yeah, so we are getting into the book. We are getting further. We are 121 pages into the book, so I'm gonna keep reading and see you guys when I get further. Okay, y'all, so it is officially time to do the final analysis because I did finish the book. No, guys, it just wasn't it for me. I don't know. I feel like, first of all, it dragged on, right? So it dragged on, And then after that, I had the nerve to have like 7 different plots. Okay, because I feel like there's a difference between like a plot and then having like miniature plots throughout that you have to like solve and everything like that. No, we had 2 or 3 plots from the very beginning. Okay, I feel like that just made it really confusing because I was kind of just like, what mission are we mainly focusing on? Actually, we had 3 missions from the very beginning, and I was kind of just thinking like, what plot are we mainly focusing on? Because obviously this plot is not more important than this plot. They're all equally important. But it was so hard to keep up with them all because there was so much going on. And I just don't know. To be honest, I feel like for one, like I already said, this one dragged on. I feel like this could have been wrapped up within 100 or so pages. What the actual heck, bro? This could have been wrapped up within 100 or so pages. And instead, it was in an almost 300-page book. It could have been wrapped up this quick, y'all. This quick. Like this. A snap. But no, it was 300 pages. So I was just kind of like, okay. I feel like the book was most definitely dragging itself out for no reason, just so that way it could have the thing of saying, oh yeah, this is a full-length novel. No. In total, this one is probably a 2-star book for me because I wasn't as invested as I was into the first book, first of all. Second of all, I don't like it when books have multiple plots, but they're all like so equally important that you cannot tell which plot is which, and when you complete one thing, you can't tell what we're supposed to be mainly focusing on, and if that's a good thing that we complete this thing, because you don't even know what's going on anymore. And then they keep adding it back over and over again. Like when we thought we had defeated the Cyclops, no, he was back and he was ready to fight again, and I'm like, guys, we're halfway across the ocean, what is going on? Okay, so I just feel like that was just definitely one of the most major flaws, and I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that just didn't like this book, because I've talked to other Percy Jackson fans. A lot of people said the second book was their least favorite in the series, so I'm just hoping that that just means that this one just has second book syndrome, and it just wasn't good. Because you guys know, I come across a lot of books that have second book syndrome. So it's like, it's kind of normal to me to continue the series because maybe the next few books are good and it's just the second book because others still getting into the writing style for this series and everything. And sometimes the second book is just completely rushed in general, right? So, I'm trying to see what I'm trying to do. Okay, right. So I just feel like that could have been definitely improved. And then also, I just feel like there was even that point we had called back to the camp, and like I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't know who was getting kicked off. I was like, who is this person? Because the characters are not memorable enough, right? The characters are not memorable enough. I will say, for one thing, I like how Clarice had her kind of redemption in this book. Like, we kind of understand why she is the way she is and everything like that, and we all know she's not as selfish and crazy as she makes herself out to seem, and it's definitely a purposeful act to keep people away from her. So I'm really glad we got to see that in this book, instead of just waiting until like the last book to tell us, oh yeah, she has all this emotional trauma and, you know, her father's not the best person. So I'm glad we got to see that and all. But I just feel like there could have been much more character development with all the characters, whether we've seen them in the first book or not. I feel like we could have just used a lot more of that instead of just like, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, this is how I feel. I feel like we could have gotten more like, oh, this is how we looked and this is what's happening, and less, this is happening, this happening, this happening. This person said this to me, I feel upset. Like, I feel like we could have gotten more in detail, like, I was out of breath, huffing and puffing, you know, the battle was hard, my face was scarred up, and oh my goodness, Annabeth was like all scarred and bruised up, and Tyson looked like he was about to pass out. Like, I feel like we gotta get more of that detail into the book. Then it definitely would have been like 10 times better. I probably would have just given it 3 stars for that and that alone, but it just was too straight to the point. Like, it was straight to the point, but it was too straight to the point. Like, I feel like we could have gotten something where it was like straight to the point, but it's not too straight to the point. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. But yeah, that's just definitely my personal opinions on the book. I have a lot of critiques. I feel like I could go more and more on this, but it just wasn't, also it was just not that memorable. it's not, like, I don't remember a single thing from this book, and I feel like it could have been composed better, could have been created better. It could have, you know, all this stuff could have been way better to be given it, to give us a much more high quality book. And I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see it if we just gotten, you know, take it from right here to all the way up here, to give us a way more high quality of a book, to give us something that's much more enjoyable, much more this and that. Then I definitely would have enjoyed my experience 10 times more than I actually did. But thanks to this case, I didn't enjoy my experience. Like, my experience was kind of just mediocre. Not even mediocre, it was actually way worse than mediocre, to be honest. Like, to be completely honest with you, it was just not the best book in the world. So for that, I'm giving this book 2 stars, and I already got the 3rd book, so you guys will be getting the Percy Jackson reading vlog episode 3. It's gonna be the first reading vlog of the month of February, because you guys know I do 2 reading vlogs a month at best. Hopefully that's what I try to get out for y'all. So I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and notifications so you guys never ever miss a video. Make sure you comment down below if you like the 2nd book in the Percy Jackson series and why specifically you liked it, and if you definitely disagree with anything that I said in this video, because I will not be mad. I will not be mad, okay? So for that specific reason, I'm going to go ahead and close out today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Kisses. And goodbye.